are some powers at work. Great powers. It's like furniture is being moved. Great powers that I haven't, the likes of which I've never seen in my lifetime. I guess there's a lot of movement, a lot of awakening. And I think after all the movement and awakening, things will be better. And this is just something, you can call it what you will, but I sometimes feel things. And hopefully it'll be for the good, the greater good. I love you! I love you! I look very pale today. I pale in comparison to my normal self. Mommy's in the hospital again. And I'm starting to feel a little comfort. I used to not feel comfort when Mommy was in the hospital. But somehow I feel comfort. Or a little at ease. I feel at ease to some degree. Because we're supposed to walk by faith and not by sight. Pale rider. Yeah, pale rider. Pale face rider. The more they change, the more they stay the same. You still have your mom. I still have my mom. That's right. And my brothers. But I think I've been shaken quite a bit just over the last few years. Shaken. I think I'm starting to be shown. I'm being shown that there's nothing you can guarantee. There's nothing you can guarantee. You think you can guarantee things until you don't have a job anymore, or until you don't have a house anymore. And I think everyone is starting to notice these things. Yep. I don't know. Death seems to be a paradox, a big paradox, because I see a lot of people who really want to live. They really, really want to live. They fight to live a little longer. And then other people who are just done with life, they're the ones that seem to get a longer life. That's what I mean by a paradox. People who are promising, people who add something good to the world, they are the ones that don't get a long life. I think about Norm Macdonald and Andy Kaufman and Richard Jenny, Robin Williams. Well, Robin Williams kind of lived a long life. But it's interesting. Death, it's beyond my understanding. Death seems to be beyond my understanding. Again, there are people who are fighting just to live a little longer. Yeah. But you know what? Most of his problems were physical. I heard about his autopsy. And his brain had a lot going on. and they were amazed he was still able to function. And it's like we put so much emphasis on these bodies, on this life. We put great importance on these lives of ours and who we think we are. And I know it's beyond my understanding. And I'm trying to let go of what's beyond my understanding. Like why I am right where I am right now. Why I'm right here right now rather than being where I should be or could be in a more promising position in life. Anyways, I think that's what, I'm not the only one I've noticed who thinks a lot, thinking a lot. But you know what? It's better than not thinking enough. There are so many people who don't think enough. Like who their friends are, how they can make things easier. But then again, it's the power players and how they control our minds and how we agree. I think there should be amendments, you know. What we agree to things before we even know what we're agreeing to. Agreeing is believing. When you agree to something, you begin believing it. And when you begin believing it, you become hooked in. You become hooked into something that could not be beneficial to you. Because it's like, from the time we're kids, we're taught to agree, be a good boy, be a good girl. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. Don't tip the boat over. Who's here with me right now? I guess this is just me. That's what I should, this is a journal. This is a video journal of me. And my state, the state of Eddie. Or you know how the president gives the State of the Union? Because this is the microcosm. Each of us is the microcosm. How we treat each other. What we decide to do. I should have grabbed some Kleenex. My nasal passages haven't quite cleared up yet. It's still fighting, my nasal area is still fighting off something. Well, today is Saturday. My brother is off watching his grandkids. And I guess he'll be back tomorrow. And we'll be back to our regularly scheduled program. Regularly scheduled programming. This is just a time, I think. We go through certain times. Times when everything is manageable. Hello, it's Tay. I'm using natural light. And I know that I need to make my hair stand up again. My hair doesn't look like it wants to stand up. I like to make it look like I have more hair. Anyway, this is my therapy. And sometimes people come here for more therapy. It's very therapeutic to just talk about things. And maybe God I've always noticed that. Have you heard people say, maybe God? Maybe God. Maybe God just wants to show us something. Maybe God, it's okay. My day has been okay. Do you remember me? That's the first thing a youngster asks me. I can always tell when it's a young kid that comes onto the show. Do you remember me? I remember Shrek. Shrek was modeled after someone. He was a wrestler. I think a French wrestler. Anyway. So how is everyone? I'm glad to see you all back. I'm doing what I can to hang on. This is me. No makeup, no meds. There was a t-shirt that said that, I think. This is me. No makeup, no meds. Just me. And I'm wondering if I asked for this. I remember when I was younger, I asked to be a really good magician. I wanted to be a good magician. And I guess you have to go through a lot to be effective, to be able to teach people. And I highly recommend the Hermetic Principles. It helps you understand a lot. If you're into magic, if you want to learn magic, study their Hermetic Principles. Have someone tutor you if they're able to. Because magic used to be, it's like, oh, read this book, do these spells, do these rituals. But you have to be confident first. You have to know that, go in it knowing that your magic is going to work. Because if you doubt that your magic will work, then you'll get mediocre or no results. That's what I've noticed in my trek through this life. Through this life. It should never be hit or miss when you're trying to change your life. It should never be hit or miss. And it takes effort. It takes a lot of repetition to the point where you get to the law of assumption. So many of us assume that we're not going to get results. So we get to the why bothers. We say, why bother? I've tried it. It didn't work. Why bother? It's amazing what we're convinced of. What we're convinced of, we believe. And what we agree to, we believe. What do we agree to? We agree to show up to work, to show up to school. No, we don't agree. We're told we have to show up to school. If we don't show up to school, the truancy, you're a truancy. What if you decide to just go out into the woods and study herbs, study plants, study wildlife? What if as a kid you just decided you want to go out into the woods and learn how to live off the land rather than fit into the box that you're put in, to be another brick in the wall? All in all, we're just another brick in the wall. This is my journal, Ed's journal, or my diary. That's what I should title it, my diary, Ed's diary. Dear diary, I'm not feeling so scared now. I'm not feeling so uncertain about my future. Because it's like we're creating each second that passes, we created. And we put so much mental energy into our reality. And most of it is what we don't want. We have more faith in what we don't want than in what we do want. I say get as much deep, restful sleep as you can and look into self-hypnosis. Look into self-hypnosis. That helps a lot. And become familiar with how your subconscious communicates with you. Because you can resolve a lot. A lot of people have anxiety and depression and self-destructive behavior. Not only self-destructive, but self-sabotage. How you doing? Woke up late. A lot of us woke up late in life. I wish I had all these epiphanies when I was younger. Get them all out of the way so I could start creating my reality. Instead of waiting until I was old. Hello, what's up? Welcome to Eddie's Funhouse. It's a funhouse of the mind. And I guess that's my mood today. My mood today is there are great powers at work, and it's scaring a lot of people. It's scaring me. All these great powers at work. Learn that Harry Potter thing and play it. Oh, the theme? I think I know it. Dun, 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 dun. I played it well. Well then. I swear that I'm absolutely up to no good. Ed, you play any video games? No, I don't. I mostly contemplate. I have a lot of spare time, so I contemplate. I always try to search for truths. Truths and stability. I need stability right now. Can I make you an offer you can't refuse? I don't know. It's not really an offer, is it? If I can't refuse it, it's more like an ultimatum. Not even ultimatum. Search Flute Works by Gaudini Fair. I'm trying to tone things down. There we go. I really should have brought some Kleenex. But you know what? The show must go on. Inside my heart is breaking. My makeup may be flaking, but my smile still stays on. The show must go on. Yo, search that thing. He plays it really well. Well, I'm glad you think so. I can't search anything right now because I'm on my phone. I can't do all that cool stuff. I'm using my phone. I think it's just the countdown. We're born to die. If you think about it, as soon as we're born, we're in the process of dying. Hi, and welcome. My brain goes to weird places. Life, it's that thing that happens between birth and death. Life. What is life? Can we have life and have it more abundantly? How old are you? People ask me that a lot. I never ask people how old they are, unless they're a kid. I want to find out if they're a kid or not, so I can conduct myself appropriately. I'm 56 years old, and and I don't have much going for me right now, and that's what's bothering me. A lot of people who are 56, they're ready for the rest of their life. I don't seem to be ready for the rest of my life. But then again, who is? Who is ready for the rest of their life? Who is really ready for the rest of their life? Because anything can happen at any time. You could be heading off to work, ready to get your workday out of the way, and then something happens. Or something can happen to someone you know. My profession, I'm a professional BS artist. I've been BSing my life through I'm BSing through the rest of my through my life lately. Hi and welcome. Really, in the description, I have websites I'm promoting. So that's what is my profession. My profession is trying to get people to come to my websites. I have so many websites. And if you would please, check them out. Nobody's doing that though. I've noticed that. My income hasn't changed. I've been doing this for 2 years. 2 years I've been telling people about my websites, and my income hasn't increased. I don't know what's going on. That's what's supposed to happen. If you tell people about your business, you're supposed to get business. I'm one of those rare occasions, I guess, rare instances where I tell people about my business and I don't get business. And it's upsetting me. I've been telling people about my websites 2 years ago I started. And I should be rich, if not rich, well-to-do. I shouldn't have any financial problems. Maybe I need to have some curses removed. Curses, I've heard you don't realize you're under a curse. They're that well put together. You think you're not under a curse. So I do feel like there's a heaviness on me. And I need to pray that heaviness off. Because things happen right away when you start to get the results you want. But maybe the heaviness is something I'm bringing on myself. What my favorite band? It was Rammstein. Remember Rammstein? And I was just listening to one, Prodigy. Remember Prodigy? Those were some good songs. And Moby. Moby was another one. I have quite a few good that I like. Volcano Head, you're back. You're back. You have come back. Something brought you back here. And I've got 4 people watching. Hooray. Hooray, 4 people. I'm adding to my journal. Oh, heck, yeah. Rammstein. They are, yeah. I had a lot of their albums. Rammstein. They got me interested in German, learning German. I even bought a CD. It was a course on how to speak German. I learned a little bit. But it's amazing when you're bombarded by one language all the time. That's all you think about is, or how to respond in that language. If all you hear is English all your life, and then you try to pick up another language, it's hard if you're not speaking in that language. Who else was there? Ozzy Osbourne was one of my, I hope, amusement. No, we need amusement. That's what we need to strive for. Eddie's Funhouse. We have fun here. Sometimes we need humor. I'm your hero. I can be your hero, baby. I can kiss away the pain. I need a hero. I'm holding on for a hero till the morning light. He's gotta be strong and he's gotta be fast and he's gotta be fresh from the fight. I need a hero. That's a good preppy, or what do we call that? To get you all pepped up, pep talk. That's a pretty good motivational song. I need a hero. I'm holding on for a hero to the morning light. He's gotta be strong and he's gotta be fast and he's gotta be fresh from the fight. It's Saturday. What's everybody doing? Seeking humor? Seeking truth? We're spoon-fed a lot of things that are not truth. That are not truth. And it's damaging to us. It's damaging to our souls and our spirits and our emotional bodies. We're told so many non-truths. Can I move in with you? Me and my three already, incontinent dogs? Incontinent. I don't tolerate incontinence. Not when there's carpets involved. That is right. Incontinent. I can help trending to mom. Tending. You can help tending to mom? I don't know. She doesn't seem to appreciate. She gets upset every time I offer to help her. It's interesting to watch. And then she comes in with the gaslighting. I'm not mean. No, I'm not mean. I think part of it is the superiority complex. When you really believe that you couldn't do any wrong, we can live we don't have a garage. I know that's what it's going to come to. Things don't look good right now. Have you been watching the videos and news? I don't know what's fake news anymore. I really don't know what's fake news. I hear that there's a lot of like oil going to China. We're upsetting Canada, or because of tariffs. It's troubling. It seems like very troubling news. In a shed. We don't even have a shed. We're lucky. We just store our supplies outside. Luckily, we don't live in a high crime area where a lot of thievery happens. A lot of thievery going on. You can build a shed at the price of wood these days. I like the idea of the metal sheds. Those, I guess, prefabricated, Our neighbor has one. It's a metal shed. Things are fine until you start getting old. You know, you can cut your grass, you can do your edging, you can do the trimming outside. But when you start to get old and full of less drive, those things start to go. I don't know. It just getting old. I don't like the idea. And watching my mom get old, watching people get old, they just all they can do then is get older. I will love you. No, I don't think we'll be able to handle. We have to go through a process. We can't just move people in because we're like in a, what do they call those? A community setting, homeowners association. I don't think we're part of a homeowners association, but it's pretty close. Little by little. I don't know. I don't think I'm mentally there. Sometimes I just don't feel like I'm mentally stable, and it bothers me. Ed, what's your favorite food? Yours is a cheeseburger. My favorite food is sometimes stir fry. I like stir fry. I like when I can take some chicken or beef. You're not stable. I don't think anybody's stable. If you really get down to it, things are a lot different than in the 50s. Back in the 50s, I bet you mental health was at an all-time high. Because we were through with the Depression. We had ended World War II had ended. But then we went right into the Korean War. We can't seem to stay out of wars. But you're loyal and kind. I am also loyal and kind. It would be nice if we could create our own kingdom. We need our own kingdom. But then again, people always want to take over a kingdom to expand their empire. Maybe we could be an unknown kingdom. An unknown kingdom. That way nobody knows that we're even there. But then again, it takes a lot of people to make a kingdom. I don't hate you. What do you mean I hate you? I hate you. I don't hate you. I'm scared because we're leery. We just moved in somebody and it turned out to be a nightmare. It turns out here in Georgia, you have to evict. You have to properly evict somebody. You can't just tell somebody that they have to leave. If you invite them into your house and let them stay, you become a landlord. We didn't know that. We let somebody stay with my mother against my advice. My mother moved somebody in. And that person stayed here and decided to just live here. And we couldn't just ask him to leave. We had to legally evict him. He did a lot. It was just one person. Was I speaking in plural? Yeah, this one person. I said, Mom, it's not a good idea to move somebody in. We're barely making it. And you want to bring another person? And the guy, it turned out to be a drinker. He turned out to just borrow my mother's car. And so, yeah, it turned into her. And he would always cause fights in the house between my mother and me and between him and me. So, no, somebody he knew, or somebody she knew. She knew somebody, and she moved her son in here. And the red flag was his grandmother wouldn't let him live with her. His grandmother would not let him live with her. So there's a red flag. Was your mom? Oh, no, I read that. It gives me stress just thinking about it. Do you watch football? No, I do not. I don't do a lot of stuff. I just don't need extra excitement. No one lives with me unless he puts. Yeah. There's got to be a switch off or a trade off. No one lives with me unless they pay rent. Yeah. And me, it's hard enough for me right now because I'm trying to live on no income, and it's ridiculous. I've never been this long with nothing happening, and it's like I'm trying to. Everybody's lonely nowadays. But anyways, I'm lonely. I'm so lonely, so lonely, lonely and sad we alone. I have no one, just me only, sitting on my little throne. I work very hard and make up great friends. Nobody listens, no one understands. Why won't no one take me seriously? I'm so lonely. Everyone asks me that. How old are you? Do you have any kids? No, no, and no. Well, 56, no and no. And depraved of, well, I know, aren't all us? Aren't we all? All of us could be getting what we want, but we can't. It's funny how our minds are programmed. We're programmed to want something and not be able to get it. We need to redo our programming. Not everybody's like that, but some people are. We program ourselves to desire something and then not get it. Because I think that's consumerism. That's consumers. We're programmed to, we got to go to the store. We're programmed to want something in the first place. And then we have to pay for it. And then a lot of us wind up returning what we paid for, taking it back and returning it, and or exchanging it for something we think we want. We don't know what we want really. I don't think anybody really knows what they want, because when they get what they want, it just goes out in the shed or in the garage and it sits there until maybe we have a garage sale. Maybe we trade somebody or we loan it out and never see it again. I've noticed that. My mother's like that. She bought a humidifier and doesn't use it. She bought a purifier. She bought an air purifier and doesn't use it. You won't consume me? So not my type. Well, that kind of gives me relief. It's hard to shoo somebody away who really wants you. If somebody really wants you, you can't, it's hard to shoo them away. Some people show up at your door and kill you. Have you heard the story of Dominique Dunn? The story of Dominique Dunn, a guy was, and some of these stalkers that are out there. You can't just be a celebrity. I love you too. You can't just be a celebrity. Somebody always winds up being infatuated with you and shows up at your house or follows you around. Then you got to hire, all that money you're making goes to security guards. Yeah, that was her, that dark-haired girl. What's happening? I liked her in that movie. She seemed to have a good sense of humor. Power of attorney. Dominique Dunn. Recently, Drew Barrymore. Stalker. Yep. say, riz you up. I'm gonna riz you up. It's getting dark out there. I guess we're getting some cloud cover. I tried to go on natural light today. I tried to get well, we got natural light, just not a lot of it. I think her cousin was Griffin Dunn. Isn't that interesting? It's like those degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon. Ed, you heard of, not Skibbity Riz, just Skibbity Toilet. I like to ask God, how much more time do I have? Say, God, how much more time do I have? Because it seems like I've been here a long time, a really long time. She was related to Joan London. Joan Didion. Didion? Who's Didion? Reading is so hard. Thoughts on Drew Barrymore? Drew Barrymore's stalker coming to see her. They need to have more laws in place. Some people, they say they can't do anything. That was one of the morbid facts. Remember morbid facts? This lady said that you got to come do something because this person wants to kill my daughter. And they said they couldn't do anything. And then the girl wound up being killed. And if you take them out, you wind up in prison. That doesn't make sense. You should be grateful you don't know the day and hour. I'm kind of curious, though, the day and the hour. It makes me curious. After all I've been through, I almost feel like I have the right to know. I have a right to know my last day, so I know what to do. There's so many things I like to do on my last day. Tell some people how I really feel. Hug a few beautiful women. You know. Skip. I'd like to skip on my final day. Just go down Main Street with my top hat and just skip. What if I started treating every day like it was my last day? Like, just have a list of things that I want to do on my last day. And then who knows, maybe it'll turn out to be my last day. Does that sound like a mentally stable person to talk like that? Or just mentally healthy? There's a lot that doesn't contribute to our mental health, that actually damages us. There's so many things that don't help our mental health. Dominique Dunn wrote an outstanding article in Vanity Fair magazine about the trial of his daughter's killer. Really? The trial. It's amazing that we let people, some people are allowed to live. The judge was the star. Oh, really? There was a judge who was shaving himself during a hearing, and he got arrested, I guess, and was taken down as judge. There's a lot of, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, and rulers of darkness in high places. There seems to be a lot of that going on. Killer got incredibly... Yeah. Hello, Shoba. And I think there's a lot, there's this, every once in a while it seems to be like that. It seems like there's great powers that are at work, that are really making a mess of things. As above, so below. And we're experiencing that. There's some stuff going on above us, and it's affecting us. Thank you. Thank you for her love. By the way, Cherry Gold Dust is a fictitious person. I don't hang around in strip bars. You make me sound like I hang around in strip bars with a girl named Cherry Gold Dust. And that might not be good for my younger audience. Yeah, it does. It makes me look like I hang around in strip clubs. How's your mom? She's in the hospital. Again. And I think she wants to be there because she doesn't take her meds. She doesn't like me to tell her that she needs to take her blood pressure, that she needs to take her medication. She wants to be in the hospital. She needs to be in that hospital. I will introduce you to her. She's a real person. Really? I didn't know that. Because you have so many aliases. You have Grandma Daisy, you have Cherry Gold Dust, and Screaming Baboon. They all sound like fictitious names. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Yeah, but you didn't say that. Well, you live in Sacramento, don't you? I live in Georgia, so there you go. That's my alibi. Yes, of course. Of course they are. Oh, you're in Modesto. Okay. Well, anyway, you're in California. I'm in Georgia. And I do not hang out with the Cherry Gold Dust. For those parents who are concerned, I do not hang out. All these fake. See, you just said fake. You know what? No matter what, I think we just need to try to be happy. No matter what's going on. But Cherry Gold Dust is real, okay? So we got 5 people watching now. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do 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 do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 1:50. 1:50 p.m. I think I need to sit at the park. Gotta tend to the laundry. All right. I also have to do laundry. But I don't like to do laundry. Gotta tend to the laundry. Do 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 do. That doesn't sound right. Oh, I've skipped a hole. That's never skip a hole. You know what? I think maybe I was a being who decided to become a human. and didn't plan very well. Didn't just wanted to have a lifetime, just maybe a drunk dial. I feel like my life was a drunk dial. It was just boop 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 boop, and there we go. We're gonna send myself into the physical world with no real plan. I felt like that my whole life. It seems like it's a series of mistakes. My life feels like it was a series of mistakes that kind of corrected themselves. But I think this is my last mistake. It feels like this is my very last mistake, and I can't make any more after this one. Who else feels like that? I just feel like I was just thrown like a dog without a home. Like a dog without a home. Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm. Like a dog without a home. I need to play that song again. Just smoke a stogie and listen to Riders on the Storm. That's my life. That's like, wow, they're singing about my life. Into this world we're thrown. That song was about a serial killer. Riders on the storm. Let your children play. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I come to meet with you again. These are songs about life. I need to treat my life like that. It was just one big mistake. Not to take it too seriously, because we never get out of it alive. We never get out of life alive. Why do we take life so seriously? It all ends, hopefully in not a traumatic way. We need you, Eddie! You need to hear me talk about demented stuff. Dementia, demented, things that are demented, unusual thoughts that happen, deep thoughts of a 56-year-old. Right now, I don't feel like I have a future. I used to not even worry about my future because my present was so good. My present, my present was always great. I could always plan. It only took a matter of time. It was only a matter of time before I could go on a vacation and do something fun. I've been wanting to go to Six Flags and go on that lift ride. I think it's called a sky ride. You just sit up there and the cable takes you across Six Flags. Just go on a couple of rides at Six Flags. I haven't been able to do that for a long time. I was off to a good start when I came here to Georgia. When I came to Georgia, I had money. I don't earn anything right now. It's mind-boggling. I have all these websites that I'm promoting. They're all in the description. I keep telling people, go to the description and check out my websites. Check out the ones that are age restricted. Those are even better. The ones that are marked age restricted, check out those descriptions. And what's mind-boggling is I haven't made any money. I've been relying on handouts from my family. My family. And here's another kicker. Our rent just went up. Our rent went up $40. It's like, that could be grocery money. That could be gas money. That could be a lot of good things, but it's going right to rent. As if rent isn't high enough. And her house isn't even paid off yet. She still has a ways to go before the house is paid off. What's sad is she had to refinance. My mom had to refinance her house, which made it even worse. Some people just take out a loan and they pay it off. But all these circumstances, we got to not look at our circumstances. Hello, Alex. Welcome, Alex. I notice people, I don't stay long when I'm watching a live. I'll show up to a live and I don't stay there for very long. I'll leave a like and that's about it. Because nobody pays attention to who's there. Why do they have the chat? Why do they have the chat if all they do is go through their plan, their planned interaction? Like one girl was doing a tarot card reading, and one girl was just sniveling. She's one of those girls who gets attention, and I just show up to these lives because I got spare time, just to see what they're doing. And I guess you just got to really be interesting. Stay classy when you do a live. Stay classy and get your flute skills. It seems like Star Wars is played out now. It used to be everyone was on the edge of their seat about Star Wars when they had the trilogy and then they had the prequels. Now I think everyone's just burned out. Okay, we get the idea. There's Jedi, there's Sith, there's Yoda, there's the Rebel Alliance, there's the Empire. The Empire can't seem to build a decent Death Star, because it always gets blown up. Have you noticed that? They blow up the Death Star, and then they try to rebuild the Death Star during the Empire Strikes Back. They're doing a good job. Star Wars was stabilizing. You can't redo. I know! Catching lightning in a bottle. I think that was a good trilogy. A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. He should have just said, okay, I'm done. I caught lightning in a bottle. I made a masterpiece. And then he went and digitally remastered it. Or did some CGI. It's like, no! We like the original. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. I remember that when I was growing up, it was all about Star Wars. And then after that, Lord of the Rings came out. Narnia, all those Narnia movies. Narnia. Masterpieces. People don't know when they've made a masterpiece. Like Gremlins. Don't make Gremlins 2. Goonies. They left Goonies alone. I don't think they made a sequel. Even if the next Star Wars was best one franchise will still not be impactful. Yeah, because it's like you can only tell a story once. But then there are people who try to remake. They do remakes. Clash of the Titans. That was a masterpiece. What's good? Above ground. Every day above ground is a good day. That's what I keep hearing. I'm on this side of the dirt. I'm on this side of the dirt. They will leave Goonies alone for long. They won't leave it long. They will leave Goonies alone for long, though it's surprising it isn't. Yeah, Beetlejuice was a masterpiece. Beetlejuice. I think they waited. If they're going to make a sequel, they should have waited a year and then made a sequel. Everybody's old now. Some people aren't even, anyway, but that's my opinion. Beetlejuice. And what was another one? There was another couple of other masterpieces. Breakfast Club. That was left alone. Yes, Goonies. Do the truffle shuffle. I love you, Chunk. The guy who played that, I forgot, who is that guy's name in the movie? The one that had the little pirate hat? The one that said, chocolate. He was played by a football player. It wasn't Lyle Alzado. It was, Hollywood wants us to move forward, yet constantly reminds us of the past. I've always wanted to open a theater where they play movies like that. If I opened a theater, I would play Gremlins, I'd play Breakfast Club, I'd play Back to the Future. I'd play all those Howard the Duck. A lot of movies that were masterpieces. And then before that, You're Here for Me Again. You're done doing the laundry thing. The washing machine. I'm glad we don't have to wash our clothes. I remember when I was young, we couldn't afford a washing machine. So I had to wash my clothes, my school clothes, by hand and hang them out to dry. And now it's so nice to have a washing machine and a dryer. Getting old sucks. I can't say it enough. Getting old. I've never been old before. Some people, it's like they know what to expect when they get old. That must have been a pain to wash your clothes. Yep, my undies. You can only bleach your undies so many times before they start to fall apart. You are so in love with me, and that's sick because I'm fat, old, hairy. When did I say I was in love? I love you, but not in love with you. I never said I was in love with you. Anyways, I'm heterosexual. And that disappoints a lot of gay men, that I am heterosexual. Can we say that in this climate? Can I stand up for my joke? Of course it's a joke. Of course, that's what we're here for. We need to do that. We need to do that more often. Joke, joke, joke. But many a truth is said in jest. I like the idea of the jester. I sometimes fancy myself a jester. Because we need to do that. We need to poke fun. That's right, we'll do a straight pride march. Put on your heterosexual clothes and march down the street and say, we like girls. We like girls. Yeah. You just said that. You protest too much. Yeah, you said I'm not your type. Well then, there you go. Case closed. YMCA, it's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for young men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man, take yourself off the ground. I heard about that when I was young. The Village People, Macho Man. Those were hits when I was growing up. We waited for that on the radio. Macho Man, yeah. I got to be a macho man. Well, there was a construction worker. There was a Navy man. There was an Indian. There was a cowboy. And then there was Disco Duck. Remember Disco Duck? Oh my goodness. They say disco is dead. Staying alive, ah, ah, ah. You hate Macho Man? You hate Macho Man? Randy Savage! It's all about the YMCA, that's right. Pew! 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 The Rustling Shame. I was, a Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior from parts unknown. The Ultimate Warrior. Tosh.0, he dressed like the Ultimate Warrior. I think he had a cold that day. We need to march. Yes. Disabled. It's hard being disabled. People think you're lazy. People think that you're not disabled just because you don't look disabled. That's right, disabled pride. I don't know. There's no planning. I've noticed that. There is no planning. For if somebody is suddenly disabled, there's no plan. We have to kind of just make do. Pride is in surviving all of that. Not just being, surviving. Because when you're not usual, when you're not normal, or the wrong race. In Hawaii, I was the wrong race. I was a haole in Hawaii, and that's not fun. With good reason, you know what? When you look at Hawaiian history, you can kind of understand. Or even in California, I was the wrong race. I was a white boy in California, in a Mexican area. Yeah. It's like when you don't fit in, that makes it hard. When you don't belong. People are strange when you're a stranger. And I remember in high school, there was all those jokes. You become the butt of a joke. I guess human decency. Just be who you are and don't hurt anybody else. Don't hurt anybody else. And don't impose your beliefs. Some people are very imposing. They like to impose. I had a friend who's 19-year-old shot. Wow. Then walked out. Yeah. See, that's what I mean. Why do as a human, as a species, people just do things like that. They can't just leave other people alone. And it makes things worse. And it's like personal responsibility. How can we stop a person like that from getting a gun? From evaluations. I'm not against people having a firearm, but the wrong people having a firearm, that's very extreme behavior. And who's there to protect? Like here in Georgia, you can have a pistol. Here in Georgia, you can conceal a weapon and you don't need a permit. You don't need a permit to conceal your firearm. And I think that's why not a lot of shootings happen here. Not a lot of shootings happen here in Georgia. Because they all know that. They know anybody at any time can pull out their firearm and retaliate. Like these foiled plans to rob a store. There are all these plans. People rob stores and their plans are thwarted because somebody had a pistol. Sometimes they don't always have to shoot them. They just have to point the gun at them. And they stop what they're doing. And they rethink their whole life. When you have a gun pointed at you, you tend to do a lot of thinking. No decision is going to make everyone. I know! There's always somebody who's not going to be happy. Even if it's for the good of all. If everyone benefits from the right person not getting a gun, automatic guns are unnecessary. I know, you use up all your rounds. Automatic weapons? I like the 1 round, 1 kill. Then there's no innocent bystanders. You aim and shoot rather than just spray and pray. I don't like the spray and pray because innocent bystanders. Innocent bystanders, yeah. Not standards. Standards. People, you want to protect yourself, 1 round, 1 kill. And then you got some rounds left over. These are hard economic times. These are hard economic times. You shouldn't spray and pray. Because then again, you're out of bullets and you've harmed people who don't need to be harmed. I say semi-automatic, and learn how to shoot. Make that bullet count. You know, I could be the Richard Simmons of firearms. You know, make your bullets count. Instead of your calories, make your bullets count. Could you imagine that? Somebody pulls out a weapon to rob a store. At least they should be difficult to get and reserved for mostly, yeah. Again, why aren't we watching Facebook? A lot of people who are about to commit a crime, they post it on their Facebook page. They post on their Facebook page and their journals. They put in their journals their plans. But then again, how can we get a hold of somebody's journal? Funeral, and his best friend's family had cleaned out his apartment, including his microwave. So that was a home robbery? Wow, just got back. The unfortunate. Yeah, it is. And you know what? Those stories should cause empathy. Those stories should cause people to think. There's a lot of just things that aren't right. Things that just aren't right going on. I mean, I can believe what I want to believe, but as long as I'm not making someone else's life horrible, Like that song, If Only You Believe Like I Believe. Yeah. Yep. But this is the dark side of the human race. The human race as a collective. Alex, that's evil, not just unfortunate. It is. And it hits home. It hits home when your hairdresser or when somebody that's checking you out at the grocery store and they're telling you their story. That's your community, your local. That's a local story. Yeah, jealousy. People get jealous and they change, and sometimes you can't see it coming. Hi there, cute paws. Cute paws. I think this is good that we get to talk about things that few people get to talk about. Again, we just go through life thinking that everything's fine. And these stories, you don't know about them until somebody tells you. Everybody wants everything to be okay. And it's amazing what the human psyche, how the brain pushes down all the uglies. I love you too. Pushes down and out all of the undesirable thoughts. Because again, we all just want to have weddings and birthdays and graduations, but nobody wants to talk about. But then again, it brings us down. We don't want to be brought down as a collective, in our collective conscious. We want to have good days. And it's amazing what the mind does to make us feel we're having a good day. A man I know has permanent liver damage because a schoolmate stabbed him with a... Yeah. Yep. And that's... If you see something, say something, they say. But you say something and nobody does anything. I hear that again and again. People call the police and the police say, we can't do anything. Somebody showed up to my house. They want to kill my daughter. Yeah. Oh, drumstick. Yeah. Yeah, people don't think about that. You can do permanent damage just because you got mad, just because you were careless. And what's crazy is those mentally unstable people are out there. Those mentally unstable people. I watched a Subway video. Did you see that Subway video? The guy was wigging out on a train. It looked like on a subway or something like that. And somebody stood up to him and the guy pulled a knife and killed him. He was suffering mental illness. We don't understand or want to understand mental illness. There's a lot of it out there. Mentally unstable, mentally ill people who are just walking among us. And they can have a wig out session. They can freak out and you think you're just standing up to somebody and they're carrying a knife while mentally unstable. And it could go south. And it's almost like, hey, we need psychiatric evaluations, but there's no money to do that. To take aside each person and evaluate them. Say, is this guy fit to walk among us? Will he stab somebody with a drumstick? Will he pull out a pistol? You know, it's hard. We don't want to talk about things like this. We want to think everything is, you know, in the land of the Teletubbies. But it's not like that. We want to think that it happens in other countries. And then you think about, and then they came for me, and I did nothing. They came for those people, and I did nothing. And then they came for me. I sometimes, because I grew up Christian, I wonder if my Christianity is going to get me in trouble. The sentences were a joke. Okay, we got to pay attention then. We try to have an accepting environment here. People need a place to go, you know, when the world is batshit crazy. And that's really what's happening. We'll have to do this, the Chronicles of Batshit. And we can do a checkup from the neck up once a day at least, or every other day. See, how are you doing? How's life with you? And we need that as humans. We're not getting that, I think. The closest we get is video games. We're playing somebody else a video game. During that video game, that's the only interaction you get. Kids, what do they do do they ever go out to the playground anymore? When I was a kid, playground, recess, playground, everybody was outside. I was one of the guys who would go off and sit by himself. And I should have been talked to. Hey, Eddie, why are you sitting here by yourself? What's going on in that little head of yours? I just wanted to be away from everybody. I think that's what it is. Not everybody, not all who wander are lost. Not all who wander are lost. Some people just want to get away from, they say intelligent people do that. They like solitude. People who are intelligent. The ambulance took 40 minutes to drive what would have been, yeah, well, that's no joke. Sometimes the police too, depending on the neighborhood. If it's a bad neighborhood like I was in Del Paso Heights in California. It took a while. I remember I worked on Boxwood in Del Paso. And what was the other one? Plaza Avenue. Actually, it didn't take long sometimes. But what they would do surprised me. There was a guy following me one time, and I called the police, and they didn't arrest the guy. They didn't take the guy out of the equation. He was still there. The same guy who assaulted me, who tried to attack me. I was a security guard. How whack do you have to be to attack a security guard? And he jumped the fence. He jumped over the fence, and that's why I approached him. He jumped over the fence and sat down in one of our benches. And I said, that's not acceptable. You have to use the key to get in here. This is a gated community. We're trying to protect ourselves from what's out there. And his reply was, man, get away from me before I do something to you. And I said, okay, I'm going to have to call the police. And I started walking to my little guard shack to call the police. And he come up on me from behind. He came up and hit me, which was a surprise. And I had my mag flashlight, and that was about it between me and whoever wants to jump on you. These are stories of the security guard who means no harm. I got a couple of times. Again, it was a bad neighborhood. It was called Del Paso Heights. In fact, Cops. You ever watch Cops? Yeah. Oh, you can relate. Yeah, it happens to all of us, it seems. It's like it's a Me Too movement. Me too. I was assaulted. You know, one time a guy pulled a screwdriver on me, and I started to run, and then I had to stop and do my martial arts to stop him from stabbing me with the screwdriver. And luckily, I kicked his hand. That's what I did. I resolved to kick his hand, and he dropped the screwdriver, and I ran again. These things are why a lot of gay men will pride. It's still necessary. I think each person, if we were treated equality, because again, I don't agree with everything, but that doesn't make me suddenly an enforcer of what I don't believe. I don't have to harm somebody because I don't believe in what they, in what they do. Because some people have their reasons. But again, what if somebody doesn't agree with me? What if somebody doesn't agree with what I believe? Yes, these things specifically happen to men because, they're singled out. But what does that accomplish? What does that accomplish? It only causes harm. You're only causing harm. And why? What's that going to do? Is it going to solve the problem? I don't think it solves the problem. Let's don't enforce. Yeah, we can enforce our beliefs by behaving the way we think we should. That's how I enforce my beliefs, by behaving in a way I think I should. You know, not by harming another person, not by inconveniencing somebody. It's like, if I say it's wrong to steal. It's wrong to murder, so I don't murder. That's how I enforce my beliefs. Not necessary in my opinion. Yeah. Again, why don't we say that, in my opinion? And you should have a right to your opinion. Doesn't that make sense? Yeah, instead of saying, hey, this is the way it's going to be. This is the way it's going to be, you guys. Just say, hey, in my opinion, I'm going to live like the Bible says. As for me and my house, I will serve the Lord. That sounds reasonable to me. As for me and my house, I will serve the Lord. That's how you enforce your beliefs, by behaving a certain way, not by beating somebody into submission, not by taking away someone's freedom. I think more people need to think that way. As for me and my house, I'm going to serve the Lord, or in my opinion. That way it doesn't become our belief, it's your belief, and you can change your mind and change your life. But that makes sense, doesn't it? People don't want what makes sense. Compassion. Think if that was your brother, if that was your sister, if that was your mother. Think of that. How would you want them to handle your brother? Stab him with a drumstick? Shoot him? No. People need to be compelled to think, If I don't appreciate someone coming up and kissing me, then I should be able to say so. If I don't appreciate it, I don't go smack them. I see a lot of smacking going on, which is unnecessary. But if somebody smacks you, I think it's okay to to return the favor. Maybe they won't do it next time. I see that happen too, you know. You shouldn't just smack people. I'd never talk like this to people in real life. They'd think, yeah, but we're all functionally insane. I think that's what it is. There's insane, and then there's functionally insane. We're all a little crazy, I think. If you really look at our behaviors, that's crazy. That's crazy. And you're out walking around, the things we say, the things we do. Are we a harm to ourselves and others? You know, yeah, leave people alone. Then there's no harm done. If there's no, the thing is revenge. That's all people see is revenge. If someone harms me and I seek revenge, they're only going to want to revenge the revenge. And it starts an ugly cycle. If you if somebody kills someone you know and you go and kill someone else, those people are going to seek revenge. They don't care why you killed them. What speaks volumes is if you forgive. That seems to speak volumes. I saw this one, I think it was a Hindu or Muslim. Somebody had killed one of his family members and he forgave him. And it's like, that changes stuff. That changes things. But it's hard. It's easier said than done to just forgive somebody after they do something. But then again, self-defense. Sometimes that's the only way to prolong your life is by ending someone else's life. Because if that guy isn't dead, he's going to kill you. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. There's those paradoxes. We run into paradoxes. We don't want to kill, but sometimes there's no choice. That's why guns are invented. Because somebody is trying to kill me. What do I do? If I don't kill them, I still have to feed my kids. I made the choice to go on living. I don't know. But this logic, people don't understand logic. It's a foregone conclusion. I heard if someone does something to you, that's on them. What you do is karma. So if you think about that, what you do, that's what's going to change things. But then again, our best interests, what do we do? Do we want to let a killer live? Forgive if you want, but that is not the same as reconciliation. Forgive, but you can avoid any contact with them. Yeah. Any contact. Because again, you don't want to exacerbate. You don't want to accelerate or excel, the escalation. I see so many arguments that could have been de-escalated if the other person would just shut their mouth. Dude, shut your mouth. This is escalating. This doesn't have to happen. It gets to the point where there is stabbing, where there is punching. And if you would have just walked away. But I don't know. People get in the heat of the moment. Their pride is at stake. It's like, forget pride. Forget your pride. Would you rather be not stabbed? Would you rather not be punched? I would sacrifice my pride on the altar, of living longer. I don't know. Sometimes you got to do that, like that song, Beat It. Beat it, beat it, beat it. but you wanna be bad, just beat it. Don't you make me repeat it. I've had to think like that. Where I lived before, it's like sacrifice on the altar of staying alive. What are you willing to lay down on the altar of life? Are you going to sit there and continue the argument? But then again, they exploit it. They think of your meekness as weakness. You don't want to appear weak, but then again, you don't want to get stabbed. I don't know. I desire not to desire. It's like a Buddhist concept. Yeah! High five! High five! I would love to go home or not be in the emergency room. Any day not in the emergency room is a good day. So help me God. The meek shall inherit the earth. Isn't that what Jesus said? The meek shall inherit the earth. But then again, what are they going to... Yeah. It's the of course, but maybe. Of course, but maybe. You know, Alex, you are still here. I hope I didn't scare you off. Yeah. Alex doesn't stay very long. He's only here for a short while. He's like a dive bomber. A flyover. That's right. We call them flyovers. They come by to land, the social butterflies. Yeah. I'm glad I'm talking sense. Sometimes you got to talk sense. Because gosh darn it. You know what? I think that's what I'm overcoming. Worrying. Worrying doesn't help anything. It only causes you to have ulcers. It only causes you to have just a bad outlook. That dark cloud, it makes that dark cloud hang longer when you worry. Don't worry, be happy. When you're worried, your face will frown. That will bring everybody down. So don't worry, be happy. Look at me, I'm happy. It's a mask you have to wear. We have to put on a mask to hide our true feelings. Our true feelings is we're pooping our pants. We don't know what the future's going to... We hear more bad news every time we look. It wasn't like that when I was young. When I was young, it was like, look at TV Guide. What's going to be on tonight? You know, the news wasn't so horrifying when I was growing up. Everything we saw was what was happening in other countries. You know, like Iran took hostages. You know, the president flew away in an airplane. You know, ask not for what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Yeah. But now it's like, oh my God, the economy. But you know what? Eggs, it depends on where you shop. They'll charge you more for eggs if you're not careful. Yeah. Ooh, it's getting darker. What time is it right now? It is 2:41. 2:41 Georgia time. I'm on Pacific Standard. No, I'm on Eastern Standard Time. Eddie, you have such a great memory. Wow, sometimes I wonder where my memory has gone. What did I just remember that impressed you? Oh, you're talking about my quotes? Yeah. Just before he got shot. Everybody who has a good message gets shot. Have you noticed that? John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, everything. everything. And you know what? That's the test. The test is, can you make it through the day? And it makes you that much more thankful, I think. How can you appreciate heaven unless you spend some time in hell? You appreciate heaven that much more when you've been through hell. Every second I can sit by myself and think my own thoughts, I'm in heaven. I feel heavenly. But then there's that pendulum. You gotta wait for the pendulum to swing the other way. Sorry. The pendulum. That's called rhythms. Yeah. I keep talking about the Hermetic principles. By the time you watch this show enough, you'll know all the Hermetic principles. Rhythms. The ebbs and flows. Sometimes the tide comes in, sometimes the tide goes out. The moon gets full and then it goes away again. Sometimes there are lots of birds in the sky. Sometimes there's no birds in the sky. I don't know. I'm getting sleepy. Sleepy. You're getting sleepy. We're down to one person. Everybody else kind of just watched and said, I'm out of here. I'm done. You know what? I think slowly but surely, we keep coming back here. I think it's by choice. We keep coming back to planet Earth. I feel like I've been here before. I've been here before. Thank you very much. That's what I need. I need some loyal viewers. I can reward my loyal viewers by keeping this show going. The show must go on. I've got my spine and I've got my orange crush. All right, I guess I'm going to have to ask my mom how she's doing. She's in her favorite place in the world, the hospital. She loves it there. She comes here to get a break from the hospital. I think that's what it is. All right, I think I've said enough. God bless. God bless us, everyone.